Hello, everybody. My name is Billy Gunter. The book we will be talking about today is Tangerine, a novel by Edward Bloor. This book was originally published in 1997 by Harcourt. Later publications have also been through Harcourt. In what ways has this book impacted my life? The book impacted my life by making me aware at an early age the effects of bullying, family secrets, and how to cope with being a teenager. It could be considered traumatizing by some, myself included, because of the depictions of violent bullying, family abuse, and basically real life events that can happen to anybody. It showed the impact that those can it showed the impact that those scenes can have on a person's mental health. All of this teaches me about bullying and how to overcome those hurdles. When did I first encounter this book? I first encountered this book in a 7th grade English class. That must have been around 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. We used this book as a reading assignment. I was a very, I guess I would say, overachiever when it came to reading, and I ended up finishing this book a lot sooner than my classmates, and I ended up having to sit through each week rereading each chapter as the class caught up. But it helped me to basically reread those chapters and figure out more in depth of what was going on, and I really liked doing that. What were my initial opinions or feelings about it, and have those changed since? This was a big one. My initial feelings about this book, well, at first was curiosity, and that was because the book was out of my original, I guess, comfort zone of reading, because I'm used to reading fantasy books and fiction and all that, whereas this was a young adult novel, and that was a real big change from what I was reading. And then it turned into surprise, and at times it felt like the book was even scary and traumatizing. Um, like I said before, it was because of how in depth the book went into the depictions of bullying and family abuse, and how the main character, Paul, was kept in the dark about what actually happened to his eyes, and how his brother was the cause of his blindness. Well, almost blindness, because he still could see a little bit. My feelings have generally maintained the same throughout the years since first reading the book, but that's mainly because I became accustomed to what was happening in the book, and I wasn't as surprised about what happened as I come onto those scenes. Let's see. Which version or edition of this book was the first one I owned or borrowed? Well, the first edition that I had originally borrowed was from my teacher, and that was the first Harcourt paperback edition of 2006. At this moment, that is the same edition that I own. He let us keep the book after we were done reading. It's well worn. I don't know if you can see this, but there's some rips in it. I don't know how to turn this blur off, but it is a well-worn book and well-loved. Let's see. In what ways, if any, has this book changed me as a person? Well, this book changed me as a person by basically guiding me to become someone I would want to interact with. It helped me overcome bullying that I personally experienced throughout middle school and high school. Basically because I always thought to myself it could be worse, you know? And it taught me how I shouldn't treat family, such as like I wouldn't want my family treating me how Paul's family treated him. And the basically the biggest impact was just showing me the extremes of certain situations that I would never want to see myself or others be like be in. And it basically this was a life lesson that I will never forget. It made me be a better person. How did this book change my taste in reading? This book didn't particularly change my taste in reading. Yes, it was a great book. That is something that is undeniable. But I, even now, I maintain on liking to read fantasy and fiction titles more than I would young adult titles or titles that depict on instances that could be seen in real life. It, yeah, it's just a preference. Um, but at the time, as a young teenager, it helped me to explore other genres of reading. And it opened up that if I would like to, I can go and read those and enjoy them without being bored and uninterested. How did this book change or impact my overall intellectual development? This book impacted my intellectual development quite strongly, I believe. It helped me to learn how to reason with others, how to emphasize with others, and how to interact with the tumultuous world of being a teenager. Basically, it just taught me life lessons, like I was talking about earlier. Well, that's the end of talking about Tangerine by Edward Bloor. Thank you for listening to my video, and have a great day. You can reach me at my USM email address if you want to learn more. And that's all. Bye.